Hey, this is Carlos Samaniego, tax debt consultant, and welcome to another podcast. Um, it's been at least a couple of months. I took a little summer break here from the podcast where I bring on guests that I think you can learn from. And today's guest is a very, very, very special guest I'm going to have. This is a guest I'm bringing on here who's a prestigious graduate of the United States Naval Academy. Currently actually an active duty officer, surface warfare officer in the United States Navy. And I think he's got some insights. We're going to learn a little bit about him. And you're probably wondering, well, why are we introducing this person? Is because this person not only has joined my team, but also has his practice that he's started down in San Diego. And I'm super excited. So I'm just going to bring on this individual, and if there's a slight resemblance, don't be surprised because I'll bring him on. And this person is my son, Andrew Samaniego. How's it going, Andrew?
It's going good. I'm glad to be on the show.
Yeah, you're probably all going, "Whoa, there's a resemblance," except I'm the better looking one of the two. Andrew, I'm so happy for you to. You're probably shocked. I know at least I'm shocked as being your dad. How would Andrew end up being my podcast guest on Tax Debt Consultants? And as I mentioned earlier, I'm super proud of Andrew. Andrew is my oldest son. He's
your only son.
My only son. That's a good point. Yeah, my oldest son. And Andrew is as I said earlier, Naval Academy graduate, Eagle Scout before that, Naval Academy graduate, currently an active duty officer in the Navy, and also a fully licensed enrolled agent. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, Andrew, and how you kind of ended up doing that and now getting ready to serve. Not only you're serving and protecting our country, but now you're going to be going protecting people from the IRS, Andrew.
That's right.
Talk to me, Andrew. What happened? What's going on?
What happened? Well, now you talk about it. I guess this whole journey kind of started back in, I would say, middle school, high school, where I found a sense of like I've always wanted to serve people. And so I think that what led me to being a Boy Scout for one, and then eventually, going to high school, and then I joined like ROTC, or ROTC is like a lot into like giving back to community, volunteering, and then earning my Eagle Scout while there too as well. And I guess a big sense of giving people service, giving back to community, giving back to the nation. And I guess I want to continue that track. And so when I eventually graduated from high school, I applied for the United States Naval Academy and I got accepted in. And I wanted to, again, give back to my nation. And so I guess that's one of the my path going forward, right?
That's awesome. And I'm going to stop you there because we're talking about, something that, and I remember there's actually YouTube videos if you guys want to find them when Andrew was in this process of, deciding, for college. And again, I remember you said you decided you want to serve. Now, why did you decide, way back then, did you want to serve? What type of influences how did you find out about this? Or I know the reason, but the audience doesn't know, and I'd like the audience to get to know who you are.
Yeah, so I guess some of it had to be with I guess a family legacy of serving in the military. My grandpa served in the Navy. The other grandpa served in the Army as a helicopter pilot. You served in the Army as a medic.
Actually, Grandpa George wasn't a helicopter pilot. He was a helicopter medic.
Medic. That's right.
Yeah.
And so, for a while I was thinking about the medical field, but I'm not so good around blood. So not that path for me. And then I guess I was kind of looking into the military. I'm like, okay, maybe will I like this? Will I not? And I applied to a program called Double Pups. You may have heard of it.
Oh, that's right.
basically like a mini boot camp style in San Diego with the Marine Corps. You have like drill sergeant type personalities down there who kind of whip kids into shape and teach them like kind of what the military is like and their acts for service. And I think at that point I was like, I want to be a Marine. But I also realized there I didn't want to be enlisted because enlisted have a very rough and tough life. And I saw like how much respect they gave to their officers and kind of like what the officers do and how much they respected them. And oh yeah, here's some pictures of when me and my two best friends went to Camp Pendleton to do the Double Plus program.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, it kind of bring my perspective like, no, I want to be in the military, but I also want to be an officer. So only like 2-3 paths in order to do that. You can go to OCS, which is Officer Candidate School. You can go to a Naval Academy, or you can do another kind of semi program where like doctors and lawyers go to commission. So I think the Naval Academy seemed like the best option.
Best option. And I know you applied to a few service academies, right?
That's correct. So I
Yeah.
applied to Merchant Marine Academy, West Point, Naval Academy, which other one? Oh, Air Force
Academy.
And I got accepted to a few of them in their prep schools. And I think as soon as I see all the Navy one, I got to visit Annapolis for a little bit, and I saw like, you know what, Annapolis is a really cool place. Again, I wanted to be a Marine at the time, and yeah, so I chose Navy.
So obviously, you went Navy. You decided to go to the Naval Academy. There's a video. It's going to already be published. I talked about when you went to the Naval Academy, which for those of you guys don't know, you see me wearing my Navy shirt here, right? I'm actually a Navy Academy Blue and Gold officer, kind of like a mission liaison, a mentor for young students who are interested in serving in going to the U.S. Naval Academy. Something I recently just became. So, but back then when Andrew had applied, this was almost 10 years ago, that he did that. He chose the Naval Academy. He ended up going to Naval Academy Prep School first, which is a 1-year program to kind of get you ready for the Naval Academy. So I'm going to take you to Plebe Summer, Andrew. And in my video, I had talked about it's hard, right? Going through things in life is tough. And I remember when you went to Plebe Summer, it was hard. I remember a couple of conversations. You're like, why am I here? This is like, why am I putting myself through this challenge? Talk to me about a little bit what Navy Plebe Summer is like.
Plebe Summer is, man, it feels like a lifetime ago. But I do remember one of the first things I recognized, basically as soon as I landed in the plane, was the heat. And again, I grew up Southern California, and so I'm not used to humidity whatsoever. So as soon as I got out of that plane, you're just sweating from the amount of humidity. And they compare like Annapolis to like Southern Georgia, and they say Annapolis is more humid in certain times in summer. And one thing that's cool about Plebe Summer is you show up, and you can show up with just the clothes on your back, and it'll get you everything you need, which is super cool. And then I remember you guys didn't attend the Plebe Summer drop off or whatever they call it. But
right.
Because I didn't have parents there, I actually just went straight back to like the company after, you say goodbye to your parents. And they actually handed me the guide on. I'm like, hey, you're the guide on. So, and the guide on person carries they carries the little flag that says like your company. And so basically I was right in front of like every picture in the world at the Naval Academy. So I got a lot of good pictures of me, but I don't remember seeing any cameras because as soon as Plebe Summer starts, it's always, eyes forward. And you're just saying yes, sir, no, sir, or aye, sir, or ma'am. But it's just go. And, it's rough, I guess, being away from home for one, and then two, you're just constantly being told what to do, where to be, how to look. And, it's a little bit of adjustment, but it gets like really simple and really easy, very fast. But, amazing experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, I know. I remember watching to go through that. And here's just a few pictures. I this was like during Plebes Parents Weekend, where Andrew was attending. It's basically boot camp for the Naval Academy, right?
Yeah,
Is, is,
exactly.
is, is, is getting is getting you getting you ready for the Naval Academy. And these are just some of the pictures I just wanted to share with you. And that was the Plebes Parents Weekend, right? That we actually got to attend and watch him go through that. And obviously you completed Plebe Summer, dealt something that's extremely hard, and then you got commissioned to go serve as a surface warfare officer down in
That's
San
right.
Diego,
So
right?
I commissioned as a naval officer, not Marine Corps. Ended up switching my decision, and then got a bachelor's of science in quantitative economics. And that's basically the simplest way I can put it is like the closest thing to business you can get at the Naval Academy.
Gotcha.
So with the commission, I went to being a surface warfare officer. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the ship drivers of the Navy. We get the ships where they need to go, get the Marines or the sailors who need to get to those places. Very top tip of the spear, like warfighter ready type, getting warheads where they need to go. So,
and you were on obviously you've had quite a few assignments since then. But talk a little bit about your first assignment on the your destroyer, right?
Yep. So as a surface warfare officer, it's one of those few officer kind of billets where you get put straight into a leadership position as soon as you get to your ship or your command. So I was in a destroyer for my entire career, and basically destroyers are they call them small boys, but they're big warships that go out to where we need to go. And then I was in charge of a division, which is about 5 to 20 people. I was in operations, so I was in charge of OSs, which were operation specialists. So those are the people who control the radars, help navigate. And then as a surface warfare officer, you not only like stay in one place. It's kind of like one of those generic jobs where you can go, you're like a middle manager where you can go from operations to combat systems to weapons to engineering if you want, if the XO or the captain decides to do so. So yeah, here's a picture of the destroyer I came back on.
That was actually when you went on that your first Navy is it a tour?
Deployment.
That was right at the beginning of COVID, right?
So we left at the beginning of COVID, and then we came back pretty much at the end of COVID. And was it February of 2020? Is it 2020? 2021? 2021.
Yeah. It was it was like the longest deployment, since the Vietnam War. That and you guys never got off that ship for that entire year, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that record's been beaten now, like very suddenly or really fast afterwards. But
right. But at the time, that's what
yeah,
it was.
at the time, and but that deployment was kind of rough because COVID shut everything down, so we were just basically floating in the middle of the ocean for a while, and we got to pull into like Guam and Bahrain, but we weren't really allowed to like leave the area. We couldn't like see the town or anything. So
of course,
that was pretty much it, man.
Wow. It's just, the reason I'm bringing this up is because, one of the important things when you're going to hire somebody to deal with tax issues or any professional, you want to know who that person is. And, the reason I'm doing, and Andrew was even saying, why you want me to talk about all this stuff? Eagle Scouts, Boy Scouts, Navy Academy. It's just because it's important for people to know who you are. And I think, what you've done is a big part of who you are and the man that you've become. And I think that's really important. So, well, let's just kind of continue on the journey, Andrew. So obviously, I know your 5-year anniversary just kind of just passed in active duty Navy since graduating from the Naval Academy.
Yep.
And I remember when I was kind of surprised you kind of told me, Dad, but even before that, we're getting kind of yeah, Andrew did meet somebody at the Naval Academy.
That's right.
So,
So
so who did you meet at the
I
Naval
guess
Academy, Andrew?
during our yeah, so I met my future wife at the Naval Academy. Actually, I met my future wife at the prep school, but we didn't start dating until Naval Academy.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
Talk to me. Tell
so
me
right
more. Tell me more.
after graduation,
So who did
yeah,
you
right
meet?
after graduation, we got where?
No, who did you meet?
Oh, I met my wife, Kanoi
There
Nakoa,
you
in Naval Samaniego, and let's see, yeah, she's from Hawaii, and I was from California, so very similar cultures in the western side of the United States, and uh, we started dating throughout the academy, and then after we graduated, we pretty much immediately got engaged afterwards, and then uh, continued dating as with my fiance, and then here we go in December, December 23rd. We ended up getting married in LA. So
there you go, man.
we were very happy that almost the whole main immediate family got to show up to
Oh,
that, and it was very special for us. And basically right after that is when I did that year-long deployment.
yeah, I
So
remember that.
you can probably say that I missed my full year of marriage.
Your first year of marriage, right?
Yeah, just right there, bam. It was like this
Gotcha.
fastest year of being married ever. And
There you
then
go.
luckily, yeah. So luckily, after my deployment, we found some time a little bit after the whole big COVID thing was happening and starting to cool off. So we were able to have like an actual ceremony with the rest of the family. And we did it here in San Diego at Tom Ham's Lighthouse. It's amazing. Everyone who got to show up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
it was a good time. It was a good time. So,
yeah.
um, so obviously you get married. We get blessed with a new daughter-in-law, and
Mhm.
flash forward 5 years here, and well, even before we go there, I'm trying to kind of bring everybody up. You and Kanoi brought in a beautiful grandson.
Yeah. So I
Right.
guess before he was born, I guess it was kind of like the decision time of me wanting to follow this career path, becoming an enrolled agent. And along with Kanoe's pregnancy, I was, getting my credentials, and basically around the same time as Kainalu being born, I ended up getting my enrolled agent's license, and yep, there he
So,
is. He's already about to be 4 months old in 2 days, so he grows
oh,
up
wow.
super fast, and he's been a
So,
whole
so talk. So, and again, we started with obviously you got married, you had a grandson, and then you had. I remember you started asking me. You came down up to the mountains here,
Mhm.
and we're out by the creek, and you're like, tell me a little bit more about your work. And I thought you were just interested in the type of work that I did, and finally, my teenage son is asking me what I actually did. As most people that have kids, most of your kids probably could care less what you do other than you're paying for something. But you started asking me a lot of questions. How do you like your work and what do you do? And you start kind of going through all this, and then I get the shocker of my life when you called me out of the blue and said, "Dad, I've passed all my exams to
Oh,
become
yeah.
an enrolled agent." Right?
Yeah, I may feel like a teenage son in your eyes, but definitely
Yeah.
older
Right.
now. Yeah, I guess I got to the point where like I wanted to continue to serve people. Again,
In a
like
different
for my
capacity.
entire first
Right.
half of my life serving the nation, I think I just really wanted to serve people at this point, and I think this was a good way. And I liked what you did and how you can change people's lives, and I think that's kind of made me kind of follow this path.
Well, I can tell you this. I'm really proud of you. There's your sister calling me. I'm super proud of you. Actually, it's going back on. Yeah, super proud of you that you decided to kind of choose this route, and obviously mentor you. But again, you're going to serve. Obviously, why I decided to do this, and now, although you're still active duty in the military, right? You're still active duty Navy right now.
Still activity. Yep.
So you're just going through that transitioning process of finally coming out, which is sometime this year, isn't it?
It'll be sometime this year. Finishing up some medical paperwork with the VA, but after that, it'll be fully committed to this.
Sounds good. And I know we've been training almost on a daily basis. Andrew has obviously my full support and mentorship. And Andrew's he's a board of directors of our company, Tax Debt Consultants, and one of the people, and obviously a big part of my company. You actually recently just launched your website, and I would love to show that website here. Let's see. Where's Andrew at? Andrew. Beautiful. You did a great job on your website here, and I'll go ahead and share this too. So this is Andrew's. If you want to go to Andrew's website, andrewsamaniego.com. This is his website. He's already published his first book that I know you're in the process of actually getting it on Amazon. And right now you can actually get an e-copy of this book as well. Great looking website. You did a great job. And I loved how you did the Navy, or what do you call it? Nautical theme. The nautical theme logo there. Great job on that.
So talk to my prior service.
You also, again, Andrew just keeps on surprising me. He actually went through the entire Main Street Marketing Tax Pro tax planning and certification program. What was that all about? How was that?
So I guess if you look on YouTube and you look up anything having to do with tax planning, there's a guy named Mark J. Kohler who comes up all the time. And he's a tax attorney who teaches, 80 plus strategies on how to basically tax plan, tax strategy, how to pay as little liability for taxes as possible, especially for small business owners and rental property owners. And so, I think can offer this service for my clients. So I went through his entire course, learning, basically, I think it's 80 plus strategy on different businesses, different business styles, different strategies with like high income earners or W-2 workers. And it's like a huge service that people don't understand, like how the tax law works. And so what this program kind of teaches you is how business owners or those other individuals can pay as little as possible as taxes. And people don't really realize that like your basic expense throughout your life isn't your mortgage, isn't food or any of those things. It's taxes. You're paying like January through March, just working for the government. So Marco, or MJK, as I call him, we train with him on like a twice a week basis and went through his entire certification program, teaching these people how to basically be the best and paying as little as possible legally.
Yeah, I was really impressed that you went through that because the thing with taxes is very similar to the medical industry. You kind of have to niche on different little niches because changes happen so fast. And tax planning, that in itself, people will call me sometimes, "Hey, Carlos, do you do tax planning?" That's not what I personally do. Very much of it, I specialize dealing with tax problems. And you wanted to get a good, overall rounding of, how tax planning and tax strategies. And I know one of your goals is to kind of specialize in helping military individuals, right? People in the military.
That's right. Especially like their spouses. They tend to move around a lot, and they usually have their own small business or side hustle, especially like enlisted sailors. Just to afford, the cost of living, some of them have to have a side hustle nowadays. So with this tax planning, they can be able to, earn all that side hustle money and not have to worry about the back end with all those taxes. So
gotcha. And when you say side hustle, I know there's some people that, well, what the heck's a side hustle? That's basically a part-time job or or a part-time business where you're making that little bit of income because we need it, right? Things are
Absolutely.
expensive. Last night I was bringing back your sister from the volleyball practice, and she goes, "Dad, can I grab something from A&W, the restaurant, which is on her way home?"
You're right.
And it was $19 for a hamburger, Coke, and a fry, and I was just like,
Exactly.
$19 for one meal.
Yeah.
So it was kind of shocking. So things are getting expensive. So we got to earn some extra money. And having that side business, as we both of us know, is one of the best ways you can actually earn money and actually get tax deductions
Yeah.
on things, right?
And then
Absolutely.
for example, a lot of people don't realize that like if you have a product or a service and you're getting money for it, it's a business, and they don't realize that you're expected to actually pay taxes on that income. And so while I was going to work every day, and people were telling me about their side hustles. Um, so, for example, I know a sailor who was like getting like white shoes, just plain white shoes, and then like drawing on it, making artistic designs, and she was selling it to people for like hundreds of dollars online. And one, I know a bunch of strategies for her to not pay taxes on all that stuff. But two, like she doesn't know any of those strategies, and she was basically claiming the income without reporting it. And so I counseled her on like how she can do better and how to get over that. Or for example, I know an officer who was just drawing paintings and then just selling it online. It wasn't
Not
like a serious.
and so if I'm understanding you right, so they were just making money, not realizing that they're supposed to report that, right?
Exactly. And
Oh,
so, and I was telling him, like, teaching them strategies on how to basically uh, show deductions and how to claim that business or all their business expenses for all that kind of things.
right.
And so I guess it's a good way to, I guess that Main Street program was a good way to show how like these simple side hustles can be a very profitable avenue if you know how to work the system.
Right. And I would imagine, Andrew, that these same people, can unknowingly get themselves in tax problems
Hmm.
because, especially if they're earning income or maybe they're getting 1099s, right?
Right.
And they don't realize it. I know a lot of Uber drivers that
Hmm.
don't realize that they're supposed to report that income on a tax return,
Absolutely.
which is shocking to me. But I guess they don't teach you this in high school, right? If you're
Nope.
making a side income, you're required to file your own tax returns. I've had people come in with their little 1099s and like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, but I got one. And usually they come to you after the fact, after the IRS says, "Hey, you didn't file a tax return, so we filed a tax return on your behalf. And
Yeah.
why do I have this $30,000, $10,000, $5,000 tax bill?" Right?
Exactly.
So,
And I
uh,
think it's the point of I'm creating a YouTube channel as well. And I guess it's to educate people about these simple things that they don't teach you in high school. Shoot, they didn't teach me at the Naval Academy how to do taxes. And so
Hey, that's the number
basically,
one public school in the country. What do you mean they don't teach
exactly,
you that?
exactly. It's very I don't want to say basic skill, but it's a mandatory skill that you need to know in order to not get in trouble with one, the state, or two, the feds. So
Gotcha. Wow, that's very interesting. So we always hear like they don't teach you this basic skill in high school. Heck, they're not teaching the basic skill in college, right?
mhm.
Interesting. Um, interesting. What I wanted to ask you something. You know, what do you think you learned, as a naval officer that can really help you kind of moving forward to helping people with tax problems? And I know that's kind of a big question. So, you know, I think it's important because you've led people on a Navy warship. Um, and I think one of the things they teach you at the Naval Academy, what I've learned from, is discipline and systems and making sure your I's are crossed, your T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, right?
That's right.
So what does this guy can do to help you? Why would somebody want to hire this guy?
Gotcha. There's a couple of things. I guess one is as Navy as an organization is a government organization. Same as the IRS. We have a lot of certain rules and procedures that we have to follow. And one thing that the Navy has taught me is because of these rules and regulations and procedures we have to follow, there's ways to get around those rules, or there's ways to go through those rules in order to have a favorable outcome. And so, same with the IRS, there's a game book and play already. He's got to learn the rules of the system. And it's one thing that's being a Navy or an enrolled agent is like, we know how to play the game. We know how to follow the rules in order to get our outcome and win the game. So that's one. And then, for example, leadership is one, but leadership is mainly for leading other people, right? Right now, once we start planning on scaling up, leadership will become a bigger role into scaling. But another thing is, as an officer, you're expected to file basically all the paperwork into getting equipment, getting the resources that you need, and you know where to look for those resources. And that's something as a naval officer and being an enrolled agent, helping people fight the IRS kind of come hand in hand.
Wow. Wow. It just, you just brought it in light totally different from how I see it, because obviously I'm not a Navy officer or anything like that, but powerful. Well, Andrew, you know what? I appreciate you taking the time to getting to know who is Andrew Samaniego. It's funny, I just did a video recently, who's Carlos Samaniego, but right. I'm super excited to share this video on my YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure Andrew's going to share it on his YouTube channel as well. And, if you are looking for help, if you are in the military and want a tax planner or got tax problems, you know what? All you got to do is head over to andrewsamaniego.com. Head on over there, and Andrew could definitely would be definitely ready to help you get that done. If you haven't gotten Andrew's book, what's that book? It's Crush IRS Anxiety. Is that what it is?
Yes, crushirsanxiety.com.
Crush. Hold on, I'm going to do this for Crush IRS Anxiety.com.
And then all you have to do is put in your email and your name, and then you'll get a PDF of that book. Right now, it's free. You can also get it on Amazon pretty soon. I'm trying to release a updated version of the book, probably in the next 30 to 60 days. So,
yeah, it's a great book. I read it, so it's a great book.
And again, it's like basically a step-by-step guide on how to reduce or eliminate your tax. It says right there.
Right. Absolutely, Andrew. And me and Andrew, I'm super excited. We're actually going to the fourth annual National Tax Resolution Conference here in Orlando this December. So, but you're going to see this tag team here. We're going to be out there helping you solve your tax problems, deal with your tax issues. And Andrew, I can never say it enough. I'm so proud of who you've become as a man, and what you have accomplished, and the family man that you've become, and more importantly, the dad that you've become. It's truly a testament to who you've become over the last close to 30 years, right? It's coming right around the corner from 30 years, right?
Yeah.
So thanks again, Andrew. Any last words?
No, well, thank you for having me. It's definitely a good time. Maybe we can do another father-son sequel to this.
Yeah, maybe we'll just make it a regular basis and get these done. Maybe we'll just talk about tax strategies, clients that we have, testimonials and things like that. So with that, thank you for joining us on Carlos Samaniego's Tax Debt Consultant podcast. And if you're watching this on Andrew's channel, thank you for watching it on Andrew Samaniego's YouTube channel and podcast. Until next time, see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.
See ya.